name is Rachel, and I was tagged to do a video. So Charmaine over at Charmaine's Vacation, who I will link down below, tagged me to do this video, and she has been super nice to me lately over on her channel, giving me a shout out, so I definitely wanted to follow up and complete this tag. So let's jump in. 1001 book tag. This is originally from Miss Reads a Lot, which I will link down below. It's based off the 1001 book series, like 1001 things you should do before you die. So she's gone through and made those into questions. So the first one is 1001 list. Do you follow any book list, prize list, like the Rory Gilmore challenge, etc.? And I would say no. I don't tend to like when people give me a list of books because there's usually a few on there that I don't want to read, and I just can't commit to a list that I know I'm not going to be able to finish. That really annoys me. So I would say I'm very interested in that. I would like to complete a list, but I haven't found one that I was interested in doing yet. Most of them are very classic heavy, and I just don't want to commit that much time to reading classics, which I don't tend to enjoy a ton. They're very hit or miss for me, so I just don't want to dedicate that much time. So if you have any book lists that are amazing, definitely send them my way. I have been toying with the idea of doing the Newbery Award winners for like the last 50 years. This is the 100th anniversary of the Newbery, so I'm thinking maybe going back 50 years and reading from there, because books from the 1920s don't necessarily interest me at this point. So maybe we'll go back to like the 70s and go from there. So the answer is no, but yeah, maybe. The next is 1001 books. Approximately how many physical books do you currently own, and how many ebooks? I have a lot of books, and it just keeps growing because I love books. I think I actually like books more than I like reading somehow. I love having books around me. Whether I'm going to read them or not, I just like having them around. So I easily have probably 1,000 books between the ones I have read, the ones I haven't read, and some of my like collector books, some of my more like instructional books that I've collected. I would say I easily have 1,000 books. I probably have about 500 ebooks too. I have a lot, and that number's just going to keep growing. I'm not going to lie. I like books. I'm going to have them around me forever. 1001 books read. Approximately how many books have you read in your lifetime? Do you keep track? I don't know how many I've read in my lifetime. Approximately, we're going to go with 1,000 again. I feel like that has to be true. I've been actually tracking probably for like the last 15 years, and it's just gotten completely insane. I started with a spreadsheet, and then I joined Goodreads, and then I started sharing things on Instagram, and then I started sharing them on here, and then I joined the Storygraph, and my spreadsheets have just completely gotten out of control. So I track it a lot. I mean, pretty much all over the internet. I have trackers of what I'm reading, and then my spreadsheet, like I said, has just gotten insane. I have a pretty intense spreadsheet that really collects a lot of data of what I read, because I'm just a nerd like that, and I love a good bookish spreadsheet. Next up, 1001 Arabian Nights. Have you read any stories from the Arabian Nights? Do you have a favorite? No, and no. I have not read them. I really kind of don't have any interest. I know the premise, and I know several of the stories. Like Aladdin is probably the most famous story from 1001 Nights. There was also, I think, Sinbad, and there was another one I felt like that came from 1001 Nights, but I don't remember. I haven't read Aladdin, but I grew up in the 90s, so yeah, I watched Disney Aladdin. I got the story. But no, I probably won't read it. 1001 flavors. Do you have a favorite food or flavor? I don't know. I don't know what to say for like flavor. I don't have a favorite flavor, but I would say food-wise, I really like popcorn and pizza. And, oh, watermelon is my favorite, though. Watermelon is, like, the best food ever. It's the best food ever. 1001 pages. Have you read a book that is over 1,000 pages? Is there one that you recommend and is worth the time? What is the longest book you have read? Yes, no, and yes. I have read a book over 1,001 pages. It was It by Stephen King. I think it was like, the copy I read, I think, was close to 1,500 pages. It was absolutely not worth the time. I would not recommend it. It does not work for me. I've read a few of his books, and ugh, this was my least favorite. This is the one that made me want to stop reading Stephen King because it was so long, and there were so many unnecessary cuss words and like just violent language that I didn't appreciate. And the ending, oh my gosh, what was he thinking? Yuck. Like, no, it's not worth your time. If you're on the fence between reading it, I mean, if you are very much called to it, go for it. Godspeed, but yeeks, I did not like it. I personally would not recommend it. I do not think it's worth your time. You could read several really good books instead of one really long bad one. The next one is 1,001 Buckets. Do you have a non-bookish bucket list? That's hard to say. What is one thing on the list? I would say, I mean, who doesn't have a few things they want to do before they die? I would say that one of them would have been writing a book, but that has very much waned, especially since I tried NaNoWriMo. And technically, I did succeed, but I have now 50,000 words that are horrendously arranged. So I don't know. It's it's gonna take just so much effort, and I just am not willing to commit that much effort. I think all of the authors that we see make it look easy, but it's not. If you want something that is remarkable, it takes a lot of nuance. So you're gonna have to commit a lot of time to it, and I'm just not willing to do that. So as of right now, I don't think that's actually going to happen. The other one would be just like travel. I'd really like to go see some of the Nordic countries. I'd really like to visit Australia. I'd really like to see Hawaii and the Redwood Forest and etc. I'd like to travel. Next up is 1,001 authors. Do you have a favorite author or genre? I don't know. That's hard. Picking a favorite author is hard. Off the top of my head, I would say Phoebe Robinson. She's a comic and she's a hoot. She's written 3 books and all of them have gotten 5 stars from me, which says a lot. I just think they're perfect and funny and just amazing. For genre, I would say I have very weird taste in nonfiction. I can't really give you like a category that I like. I feel like Phoebe Robinson is kind of like my type in some nonfiction, in that it's kind of a funny essay collection that also has serious moments with a lot of pop culture references. I really like those. And I really like weird, dark nonfiction. Like true crime. I also read one called Gory Details last year that was amazing. Things like that. So weird, I call it weird nonfiction. Very weirdly specific nonfiction. And I would say probably my favorite genre would be like murder mystery / thriller, maybe a little bit spooky in there. That area for the genre. I don't tend to read a lot of contemporary because they tend to be sad and I don't like that. I'm okay with most of the genres, but I would say like mystery thriller is probably my favorite. And then I skipped one, so let me go back and do that. 1,001 numbers. Do you have a lucky number? Is there a story behind it? Yes, it's 13, and no, there's no story. I don't know why I just gravitate towards that number. And then activities. 1,001 activities. Do you have a favorite outdoor activity? No, because the outdoors don't like me. I'm really pale, I burn so easy, and the bugs love me. So after I've been outside for like an hour and a half, I'm miserable because I'm sunburned and all bug bitten. I would say though, I mean, I do sometimes go outside. I would say I like to go for like nature walks. I like to sit outside when it's not noon and the sun's straight overhead. I like to try to find a shady area to sit and read with a lot of candles going around to keep the bugs away. You know what else works? Like a fan. If you can get like a box fan, it like blows them away from you. I also really like to swim. My parents have a pool and I love being in their pool. We usually have to wait until like the evening to go though, because if the sun is straight overhead, I'm going to get burnt. If I'm outside for like 30 minutes, fried. So yeah, I like the outdoors. The outdoors just doesn't like me so much. And then the last one is 1,001 book clubs. Not a prompt, but oh, that's just a question. She wants to know, should she start a 1,001 book club with a book a month for a read along? So yeah, maybe, sure. I wonder if she would do books from the 1001 book list, like the books you should read before you die, or if she's just gonna pick them. I don't know. Anywho, that's the end of the 1001 book tag. I'm gonna go ahead and tag one of my new bookish friends, Kat from Casey Reads Books. And anybody else who would like to do this tag, feel free. I'm officially tagging you in. I'm going to leave links to everybody that I mentioned down below, as well as the questions and the original creator down in the description box below. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I'd love to hear some of your feedback on your 1001 type things. Do you have any fun bookish book lists that don't include all classics? I would love to hear those. What are some of your favorite authors? What are some books you are just literally dying to get to? Let's talk books down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Bye!